na awie mene me bra ba ko a say mene ne ti adra nwoma so still on person obeji atum George Opare Addo Pablo ewa Pablo boko de bibia ye fine
twedi ampan de akase kufo ne ba me a
ebeto wo sha me producer chi pese beef na me ne wanya no pese wo betwe
ekrapin fo yanko
oh kulume
the party o treasure on me be ku bia ne e be che
David ene mesesa ma me kwan am pese me no fa so
ade o man yayi afena me beto twede na me nya de abedi ahode ni bi we na me bia beto twede
anyway NDC mo ho ye
nyame adom his excellency John Dramani Mahama atiapo ana party ne so tiapo yen resi du nketia ne fifikwete Omadaroma party no gina ne na so pa
yo mo aho boa te sen
ye nyakra na kanope yi ene ye to aba nke na 7 December ye to aba because ya krado ana enim se hye ya to no 7 se nyame amba na 7 December do his excellency John Dramani Mahama ebe fra konya se no aba be ga no man penyi
ese mu trust electoral commission
ya ene se Senior Zuma Nelson e call Australia round on the Fennec ekwa kokono onene kun oneje Fennec kun o US obi anim za Zuma din kunim but yes call fight in a draw all call Australia baby aje Fennec fi na ga na fo yina yem hye adokaza Onua ni coach Onua de the referee and Onua the judge e kokunim yanti ase into with or without the electoral commission those elections you be making sure that the ballot is properly protected you be bo mo fala ma isi ehun hwe ye so na you knock a Fennec out in round 8 no to mean sorry no to mean tin any no so na you be bo NPP no na you be bo mo to the extent say sabi obi a crown there say obi try awie ma mo obi a say you know who the akoso Kenya no ga na empare nti wa be try so be ye bibia sabi ento asum no nobody wants routes obi am pay basabasa yo but ye be pese bibia be ko one and I've said the time with that number says so ye police ni we ye soldier ni we ye electoral commission and now ye electoral commission and an electoral officer ni ama wa kunya se kona koye adwuma o 7 December elections ma koye adwuma pepepe and na masan council say sabi bone empro crime does not expire and aboni insuma that council say o polling station hono makwa ye adwuma no wo police ni kra obi aso kutupa na so jani obi aso kutupa no kai say yenim fia ofim yenim ba bia ote nti wo ko akwa di atwitwa asem no yere no ma so wo fie etwen nti kai
threat to the
threat nobody is threatening anybody now wo ko police station akokum obi de share now the onzo de should be be ma ne ho ato no bone empro crime and expire into 1,000 years cry you'll be brought to justice but just remind yourself say oh kon oh yere ne mba wo fie nti ko ye dia e dia asomdwe be ba Ghana because lo koye na basabasa BC polling station hono ma e bia na be nwufie se me ko polling station na basabasa bi e koso a me ye mehyehyem yo me yere ne me ba ofie nti me bi za mo say na de basabasa me ko die na basabasa bi ba me yere ne me mo be den nti wo soja ni na police ni no o kono kai se o yere o ma me o abusua nti no se hanom na basabasa asi na ba bia out ne bi so si on ma wan na be bom ho ban it making sure say baby akobia no asomdwe nsem na akwakoye na asomdwe yaba
doesn't mean say 2020 elections no mamboa mo ho when it comes to security issues ana
ya boa ye ho but obi andan dwen da say soja ni a me no ye de nziketua neka ebe ko polling station ana police ni asra ni a me no sika ye de tua neka ne afa na adwuma say ombo me no ho ban e de tuo ebe ko polling station akokum Ghana de hye ebi nsi o ya ba kosemu da aka you police ni soldier for any because one number boy and home but for the first time in our history say Akufo Addo be president there yenkum ade hye na soldier ni afatuo okwabrani abietio agu Ghana ade hye so e bi nsi da but ye man ntoso mpire no
okay all right me shada na me bombarded with those issues you know proper we a youth organizer adia ba kwa say Ghana fonya pa ye youth unemployment according to Ghana Statistical Service for reporter for the past weeks ya ho adwuma kire say enipa dodo a wo munya adwuma nye edoso pa
12.6%.
sure ya ba linking to what happened in Kenya. They see what Kenya no answer ne beba on youth unemployment no so no connection by and I bet me they are connected to Ghana.
Bebre The cost of living na cost of Kenya. Oh, because I was a statistical service for reports. When they almost say in the last 6-7 months, 8.4 million Ghanaians are quite a day without food. No.
Sure.
When no.
Yeah.
It's worse than what is happening.
My treaty document.
And I'm saying it is worse than what is happening in Kenya. So, me tea studio hey. So, me free years so kakra. Me kwa no pa. I could see numre. As a mere man can say me fasting. Na sabi me ni sika me be to aduane di na ekomode me ama de echi na me ndidi na de san chi me bi na me ndidi na me pie ha ya na uchia na so opare 100 cedis na ko bo asem esi asum me de america na me ja ko bo nipa na sum aba onim de ntia because ade san chi me bi ma kom be kume ti me ma kom ni nkume what you say inti no se na se me wadwuma ya me wadwuma ya sabi boso me so amenya aketua
yeah.
Na me near Juman ye cost of living is so higher. Me hear me ho hwe ye. It will only take a miracle to save me. Inti no bibia me ya me sabe command bia me ye. And as the devil finds work for the idle hands. Inti me te hey na me ho che me. Me a me nya sika anto aduane ndi. Ena me kra tenga na sidisa. Gobempo ebe ndi se me nya biedi. And now I make a third of no 5 cedis. 5 cedis now so me. That's them to 2. Now me divvy a cramp mame. So I say. Me bizarre mame say mame need of me say 2 cedis na. Na for mama who in our status. So I don't third of no cha and I'm sure. Doctor said I hear aduane amepe. Nti enye aduane am me tedi. Me nya gari na me boni nsu a na me come be. Aha. But I know me to me yam shame me di 2. Me di we no. Na me fan che me ba na come de me. If I have only 10 cedis and the mean between tonam. And me di no anopa every day na me di. Because the average Ghanaian the salary is saying bosume. Basic wage ni saying. Whatever happened in Kenya or whatever is happening in Kenya, Ghana nyame na doye. Nyame ene doye. Because our conditions are worse off than the Ecowas of Kenya. No. We are in a worse condition than the Ecowas of Kenya. No. But then the Biazwa me can say, the entire yen do baby a Kenya for do say, the Kenya do baby money is almost to abanche you. And I oshe omo president no. Now oshe Mamudu Bahavia. What is the win as of forever?
Pablo. I was off for you.
Yeah, cathedral of we and no could you tell me the oh, we now of forever.
Oh, when you not off for you.
Reverend do Jane Fuse away. Oh, we now of forever. Apart from no. Promises are not your vice presidents. Or promises me ba me tax so me ba me we no. It is the same like so na Mamudu Baomianam. Only Baomia.
William Ruto no.
Ruto. Me only Baomia difference be any. Other dogs a driver's mate to. That is a driver's mate Baomia this year. Ruto can be. And Baomia so can be. It is the same script. I don't win na to. And so don't be surprised, Baomia end up sakwa now so. The reason why Kenyans have not been patient, and they say, I'm going to try by you in chair. But the entire Ghana for are you patient? And they say, oh, who 7 December? But I'm me who 7 December. It's me not train home. It is be catch say encore route here. But catch say nya. Because 7 December, I buy bond with you be 12 good I buy Papa Abba. And that is the only reason why I ain't do baby Kenya for do. That is the only reason. It is 7 December need do. And then I make sure say, "O kona kwe uko fakulty kwan so." So kwe the ensen fata. Kai say route this year. Microphone baby out. Uni pakron. It is always Supreme Court judge. Now the assembly to him now in the troka. Oh yeah, electoral commissioner. Now kona kwe nema basa. The consequences of what is happening in Kenya. Utian ya ye who's all a judge. You know be fra. So come for born your tikrumosi kronem bono. About movie. And that is what we are seeing in Kenya. I mean, Pengu, we cannot continue to allow our MPP buying with someone called Ghana so after 7 December. Our situation will be worse than the Ecowas of Kenya if we allow this trajectory to continue. I'm on for bro. People are very tired. And the only thing about solving a problem, no, need a change from the current direction of mine we echo.
So, sir, Ghana Statistical Service for reports on figures said, "Ya my, we ni padua, wo munye jumanye, and Okan reports na it look like afibia increase. So momentio, a bit mum become, and the West region was Savannah region, and it's so pathetic. Then namoje to address that huge number of people, oh munye youths. When you're unemployed.
You see, sir, you can't MPP for your trophy. Now, Mahmoud Bamian, the kind of money I say. We show more employment figures from there to jar. Unemployment should have been reducing. Then if I employed over 2 million people. Now, all employing about 2 million. Our rate should not be 14.6 or 12.6 now, your woman. It should be lower than that then, because around amount for nipa 2 million. The unemployment rate was hovering around 9 point something percent, 8 point something to 9 point something percent. In the next, I could do 12.6. And the nipa 2 million, more from where economy being. The second thing is there is what we call brain drains this year. Almost all our health professionals are leaving. So I Canada and UK now about so.
Yeah.
So in the last 1 year, more than 100,000 Ghanaian young people have grown to brain drain. Migrating, and that is what has led to our useless debate of Dutch passport, any PhD. That is what has led to that debate. Because under no circumstances, and I'll be a Krabinya could drag as a PhD soon in fast. Because the micro PhD now to Holland, I'll be one of the high earning people in Holland.
Yeah.
And in Holland, a PhD for the Ibu man. But if people like Mahmoud Bamiya PhD, like Ghana for a who's on fast. Because of the mess they've left the Ghanaian economy in, then anybody can link it, say, PhD soon in fast. Because clearly it has become a useless title, because it's not solving our problems. So that's what I say. We check the current unemployment rate, and then there's a very simple solution. And then I say, we should move away from the old ways of doing things. We need a paradigm shift. And that shift is introducing the 24-hour economy policy now. And you see, I've heard people make a lot of fun. Because can say maybe about 24-hour economy. The 24-hour economy is a 3-shift system. Morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift.
Okay, and no the person when you daje on that angle, no what me actually because Crawford accuse him communicators and say binom krantias here. Voter registration, limited registration to vote transfer to you kind of say policy registration of course you know. My post-mortem after say electoral commission editing na be we
Me patcho yo ya fake ya sanko ye Ashanti region. And the last week cry share Ashanti region, you share regional executives from all the 16 regions. And then we've looked at the figures. So as a party, like I said, you're more than ready. You analyze it, what it means. You should projects about, you should transfers, you should number of new people on my register, the number of young people, and then what age ranges they fall under. You're analyzing and we know how the voting trend is going to look like. When people vote after a certain period, wouldn't pattern. You know how first-time voters vote. And I've always said, first-time voters, majority of the time, that is how come this government was doing everything possible to sabotage first-time voters. Where you can say, population census near one now. This registration exercise now you see a capture not less than 1.2 million, but we only capture around 28,000. Clearly, there is a gap of NIPA more than 300,000, almost 400,000 and 500,000. You haven't registered more. There is a big gap, and also Obabe mop up in August to clear the mop up. We've done the analysis of the whole registration exercise, and we see the trend, and you're very confident say. If this trend continues, the NDC will win the elections on 7th December. Nothing is going to change it.
Voter regional, nipa, challenge womo, ne doso compared to Ashanti region. But nipa ye register womo so Ashanti region doso change voter region.
The population number in Ashanti is always higher. But the MPP deliberately took a strategy to voter region. Say, you challenge you be normal packet the various committees, regional committees now, dispute resolution committees now or regions the resolve our electoral issues. You packing on the crop for. They challenge on because their mind is that every potential voter or registered voter regime is likely to vote for the NDC. It's a challenge on. But I can assure you that all this will come to a knot. So we depend on Ghana here. Also, infinity, Emma training so Ghana. We did not do a lot of challenges in Ashanti because the minimum main case about 20 can be challenging. That is the MPP strategy. We are not like them. And I know more peda. It's they've done their challenges, but a lot of them have been cleared. Go through the process.
Okay.
Arbitration process. A lot of them have been cleared because there was no basis for the challenge. Their strategy was to be a challenge, And so they took that strategy to the voter region. And then they went ahead to do their own thing. But it's neither here nor there.
What of is it out to senior? How I come in one now money more candidates, you detain, and so many issues.
That was one of the most useless actions of it was an unlawful detention. So me cramit you. License gun by the police. Two police are licensed, mommy. Routes this see or to senior. Na anyhow. Or no ba honomo as a responsible aspirant. In Crawford, Jumama, not as much as a BSC or Beba honomo. Or by Namco searching the care, police for bar and searching the care. Bukwed yes, I carry a gun. And I'm a hoot, The gun was not fired, the gun was not used, the gun was not even exposed at the polling station. And I'm inviting, so when who the camera for license, a standard police procedure, or the license by, and I was just charging the uncle. Then the next day, invited some police headquarters. Eba honomo. Ebetina honomo. Nothing happened. Then a Kufadu holds a cabinet meeting with how I consider no money Ghana, not how I took. And then I hear he comes to insult in Crawford. Then the police invites now. No charge. Or by the Tenase train here, but Tenase about 5 years, we could detain him.
As my okay, wouldn't you proof?
Oh, they've been proof. Order from above, no. But that's what the police told us. There's an order from above. What charge no they born now? Charge when they born. Said the Dean Phyllis no. On your license, Omuja Elbako. It's absurd. What is the charge? Or that's what charge when they born. Just to show you where power lies. Here you're locking at the engine. I'm aware if the power is transient and you're permanent. I'm back. How I come in there? Where you police station I fire you. The day power changes hand, we will prosecute that matter. No, they'll be on display too fast and all they protecting. The police could not hold there for even 30 minutes. Polling station no create, you know fire. Eshimoto Emma, all that's here, Shimoto bikes in the Emma. Now I comes why not a commando a Rambo. The MPP is in power. 7th December, Bedu. Iris for 9th December near declare results away. MPP will no longer be in power. She will answer for all her crimes. And I'm the can cast the bonnet and crime does not expire. So we are bonnet to and when now about when you prosecute too. We are better of course I can be prosecute too. Now you are acquitted on your discharge on a case now because double jeopardy don't mean punish you be twice for the same offense. But the job on any two of them there what it means is that that case can be resurrected anytime. And after the 9th of December, when a new sheriff is in town, Hawa Kumsin will answer for her crimes.
Okay. Pablo, 24-hour economy.
That's it. I've always said, sir, I say, Akoko, or such a croma, said, there ain't anything. And I power and check not yourself. And I send Pansu here. The 24-hour economy is just a 3-shift economy. Okay. It is an environment people work round the clock 24 hours. Into transport service operates 24/7. Because you cannot have an effective 24-hour economy. Transportation does not sit in the middle of it. There is also what we call the light cities, where electricity, because the city must be properly lit for
street
people.
Lights.
You also look at the issue of security. So all you need is a legal framework. Legal framework, be making sure that Sanema we operate. 24-hour economy does not affect every sector of the economy directly.
Okay.
But a indirect effect on other sectors of the economy. A demand driven. So if my environment now no, I don't need to operate 24 hours. I don't have to.
Okay.
Say, yeah, for hospital setting and yeah, example. Let me as well make say most of our hospitals are supposed to operate 24 hours because of the emergencies are ebano. But 80 to 90% of our hospitals don't do 24 hours. On paper, almost 24 hours. But because there is no legal framework, a shop must say 24 hours. No?
Especially cheap compound.
Obia and show
clinic for
exactly. So, yeah, for hospital setting, anopa 8 o'clock. Obe kono na OPD na ye ma. Ebi anopa me wa exams be true. But I mean, if there man call hospital na anopa, me call a year after 5, I mean go to doctor.
Yeah.
So I say me lab works and blood works are. Technician. So I was say me try extra na MRI me nya bi ye. Even your trade room me or pharmacy cry me call bi na pharmacy no apon. Nti anopa no a aka betumi akwa ye adwuma no. Ana betumi akwa ye de ese me koye no. Ebi ana yare na yem no enye bibia abom ya to ho no. Nti aka betumi akwa ye bibi foforo. Na ka me pon a ma ba hospital no aba behwe. Ma akodi line mu. Nti be call no sometimes OPDs no na say very congested because obi about no panic because at the sa onya doctor me no. And because you go on into no, you don't even get the best of care. Because doctor never be shini maybe our doctors be 2, nipa be 500. So ba no be share crowd nessa na and I want allocate time ne yi enso so a nipa na be che. So ba wait 2 minutes, wait 3 minutes. Until the help potimpo no. What's the doctor in office can you account say yeah the interview and until the health catcher doctor ne crown. If you are no entimi anka nti no. 9:50 more say or the other question is be when you start time in power amount. When the hospital is operating 24 hours, what it means is say anopa say staff are running anopa no so year 20 ya. Ba almost shift anopa na 8 hours ne so no mo pon a another set of 20 about be take you over. Area. Now area for ni so another set of 20 abi take you over enumerate. So instead of just 20 people working the whole day, now you have 40 additional I 60. What it means is that 40 new jobs have been created. I can't 20 now,
making 60.
Making 60. You know, so 20 now no mobile no panel. All by hospital, all bed juma or faka. You know, a year for and so ba on the faka. And you may for and so ba on the faka and I'm got transportation and we yeah. So the transport sector will have a job round the clock. Me boy. Me ba no pa me didi. Me ba wia me didi. Me ba nwumra me didi. Ti omo mo ton aduane no. Omo mbe ton anopa beba. Omo mo ton wia beba. Omo mo ton nwumre beba. So 40 new people in the community. You can say Onua FM hanom ye one community. And they have nipa 20. Ana komo ye adwuma. And then the 40 aba beka ho. Nti 20 pound pa 20 ba wia na 20 aba nwumre. Omo mo ton aduane anopa ne pon no mo kwa ewia obi foforo ba beton aduane. And obi foforo ba beton aduane. So new jobs would have been created in that chain. That is the downside of it. Say nipa 40 and nipa 620 na ye adwuma. Na 40 additional let's say ba be nya adwuma ye bi ma. So look your fans of mine Onua FM hanom ye one community. So maybe me nama deja me Saturday na ba. So me ye adwuma me nya scatter atade. Exactly. Into wow yes seamstress and a dressmaker and a tailor we area ni mu no. Me nya adwuma nko ade ama be pam atade. It's indirectly also economy no e boost ama. You are not doing 24 hours. Wow, no. But because nipa 40 additional anya adwuma hospital haka krei, I'm only using the hospital setting.
Yeah.
What it means is that the trickle down effect. A trickle down ma community ni.
Obi ani aduane no.
Nia obi faka, obi ka ye adwuma, obi ye intade hairdressers bebe maybe say miti so ye kusu. Akoyi miti obe adwuma be sisi won kama be UT. So there is a trickle down side of it.
Okay.
For a 24-hour economy to be effective, one who has legal framework. Also, by necessary between ejuma. 2, you need a proper lightning system for it to be able to take off. And I can say, yeah, the what we call the light cities, Eba. What are the light cities? Very simple. For our light bill, what column for street lights.
Yeah.
But so maybe ultra street lights. Sikana Coinfa. If you don't say energy commission, if you say ECG, will be any maybe a scanner. Their president Mama can say, you might better their friend is Street Lightning Authority. Now, say Sikana, you cheer Bosumi Biano. In fact, Onua FM have him. I have one community into the community of Onua FM. If you bear 1,000 or Hanum, no be a chair light bill. Street Lighting Authority, you be decentralizing so that at the center of it, local area, no. Into Onua FM community. Yen my chair light bill in ECG for Sikana. No matter say portion, no. I'm a local authority now. Or Hanum, no. His job is to make sure that all street lights are working. And then public places are the markets in the man, only now should be properly lit. Obekaya, you girl, yeah, or call singer Tony. Or call airport on baby, are not all to no. Was the local economy around 24 hours? What do you mean? There was lights all over.
Yeah.
Who took crying out of Accra? Now community BMR. Na come do and win about 1, 2 pa. Maybe I be cross street like Bog boy, you know. We connect a chin do me was here. Near Tonkosia. And you may be near to Honomo. Meboa. What it means is that electricity, proper lighting system drives night markets. Osu hey Osu night market. Osu Oxford Street is so. I didn't know for me did because it is properly lit. It's a number na Honoma unshow. And so we will create what we call the light cities to augment the 24-hour economy. And you may unam now tie a pie. Now we took kwanya. We try drive bay twice. We have organized a beer. I just don't want to be here, Jamal, but because of security. And we share the ratio of police to the citizens are grossly inadequate. The can say you be increase the intake. So that we'll have more police people to patrol 24 hours round the clock. Because when me peer numere, not lights, not properly lit, the environment proper lights will be not there is enhanced security here. Be quite Juma means true. You see a sign demand driven. Like our president Mama Waba you can see stopping the importation of rice, sugar, poultry, and pharmaceutical drugs. It has started their near friend of the Brawler program for poultry farmers. And they support rice mills. They share rice importers association and they can say import 60% and then do 40% locally. And for no kake, they support the home. Pharmaceutical companies, they're momuska, so producing drone locally. What you say? The can say if you sign on onto the 24-hour economy, you be more smart meters. And today with technology, everything is possible. And their smart meters is there. Obejuma no power or tariffs are normal.
Okay.
Till about 6 p.m. Now, whatever parliament they decided how much rebate they be no, then the meter will start reading after 6 p.m. At that rate. In the 1 year, and the condition is that if your meter is not running during the day, in the evening, the rebate does not set in. So it would mean because the rebate only sets in when you are working 24/7. So that organizations are and most of our companies can do 24 hours. But it's because of tariff cost in Yama. So they'll get salary rebate, to also operate in that stead. Companies who also employ young graduates in Yama, government from say your rebate here, they be more. And so the way to solve the unemployment issues are confronted here, is to introduce the 24-hour economy. Good for them to praise the 24-hour economy. Jane Mensah's own I'm professor here, I'm heady. He's praised the 24-hour economy policy. The Trade Union Congress of Ghana, TUC, Ghana Jumedie for you, a game changing. You know, when people before somebody want to say, And what they don't understand is a 3-shift system. No one here. And the sad aspect is maybe not tripping. And they know that in most of these developed countries, the economies run 24/7. And man, near Thailand, near America, near buckling in anyway. You're quite clean in anyway. They quite me daytime job.
Yeah.
Upon a maybe film. And you bring my buckling in bare 4 hours. And they are supporting me income. And I know a lot of my friends in the NPP, and I'm doing yes, and they been crack him at now, madam, I'd have to be more some a company be flying foods. Oh, New Jersey. You call nights. You call ye the the co play mu. Say ya dear chair. Near pon near that 2 hours be nothing. I could a day job. And that is what a 24-hour economy simply means. Apart from that, while person usia dear, while person other things. If the economy is running 24/7, you can find space during the day. Sure? Anopa me kwa adwuma na nka enwumre makwa akodidwa akọ market. This is a say in traffic I na because when do come within a certain time they are going to be out to me. But if the economy is running round the clock, and then there is proper lighting, there is adequate security. Yeah, my minimum would dig our markets and probably now stay late in the markets and work. But there are vibrant night markets. Those days, 9 years you saw on that time station. Full selection, no. TS. And no papa by 4 a.m. Because enumero and I'm the bill neighbor. So no papa, to me do 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You trap the way you first selection now. But today what has happened? And around the world it is happening. So all we are saying is that we will pass the legal framework, make it legal, and then key government sectors, as I run it 24 hours, no, they'll run. And it's when government takes the lead, other industries will follow. When is the President Mama ACMPS sports? No? The rationale behind it was to make it go 24 hours. And as I speak now, the MPS sport is 24 hours. MPS terminal now 24 hours. And he gets the President John Dramani Mahama. When we were building the data centers around Ghana, you could see Accra Digital Center. The idea was to run it 24 hours so that obey me a passport and not pay you anymore. So long queues, DVLA, the digital the idea was to be able to walk in any time of the day and get whatever you are looking for. So that I no pay so my productive hours no uncle saying in the line. So that me pay Juma 5, me pay Juma 6, I can walk to the passport office and go through a process and get my passports. I can close at 5 p.m., drive to the licensing office and go through a process and get my license. So, my blood works being SM Koya. I can close from work after 5 p.m. 6 p.m. I could do Range Hospital. Very confident that Dr. Belho Beshemi. Very confident that MRI machine Juma. Very confident that lab Juma. So I don't have to leave my house 5 a.m. I machine. But the traffic man I'm compounding stress because I know say, the system is working 24 hours. And that is all we are saying. And one person they can make fun of it. But we are telling the Ghanaian youth, say, we cannot operate the same 8 to 5 economy. Now when you're Jumaye, because but a different approach will give us jobs and will make the system work for all of us.
24 hours economy, no what chile fine pa ba kwa me be say o mame enchemu kakra ye electricity. Because already ye 24 hours kora no ye kan ye ntimi nyina so.
When we were planning to in 2020 the manifesto not 24-hour economy. And before by okay some bob accommodable President Mahama. I'm say why ye too much capacity. Why my electricity abusudodo. Ama eka edeka na ebre Ghana.
The contract no must ye take or pay.
Take or pay number we built capacity. You ramping up capacity because you need to be your mind. Yeah, electricity. Yeah, solve it problem no. You say apart from say you need installed capacity and now you DB count no. Now you sign him to say sika ebe problem. And ana a car a da hono man see chia. So President Mama Sebi or Sudayepa. Now you're visionary. Edit their friend Esla Ebai. Esla was supposed to have paid for all the debt in the energy sector. And Esla was supposed to have lasted for 5 years. What do you before call to Esla? So I'm going to pay my impasse Esla. But then, the Esla could see our to 2030. So I corrupt criminal batch. The Esla could see our the problems we have today in the energy sector, and yet with capacity. You have more than excess capacity. Only problem no. It is the gas. And I mean to your power producers. IPP for an independent power producer. It means to your mocha. So they are not giving you the electricity because on those means servicing the machines. That is the only problem. So the question is the Esla Sikano Enfa. So if Esla was working at full capacity, like Esla servicing debts in the area because in 5 years, near structured debt in 5 years, Esla should pay everything off. And Esla was a multi-purpose vehicle. It's, if we were installed capacity, now you were trouble gas, air supply gas to some of this installed capacity. Near Esla, they service West African gas pipeline for the canal, and the IPPs now near the canal. What was the problem again? So President Mama solved the energy crisis in Ghana for no. To the extent, say, we were exporting electricity to other neighboring countries. And there would be crowd on and that's time by an as of October 2016, now you have more than enough capacity. So if we are going to do a 24-hour economy, I started by saying that we need stable electricity.
Okay.
We are not oblivious to that fact. And I you solve you doom so. Yeah, near man Ghana installed cap. And then I'm married now. Your boy married Dean Bonina. That's what I Kumasi. And here a cost here they are married fee. Dubai, Ebedu Ghana. Is way cheaper than I hear almost spending a movie I married from Takrade to Kumasi. A bunch of criminals who have assumed the role of government and boy and chrono. And then they turn around and complain. Say they have the men. Goro boys in Kwanum from men. This is the state of the Ghanaian economy. President Mama has the solution to the problems that confront here.
All right.
And they buy a solve it.
24-hour economy, no, you were young and never hotel about more blueprint for it. Because MPP for a year free SHS, free Kekaya, a bar say you implement, you know. Now, I find almost some of the bill, parliament, and whatever after 8 years of implementation. More blueprint. A bebo 24-hour economy no buying.
In the first 5 months of a President John Dramani Mahama presidency, the legal framework for the 24-hour economy will be laid before Parliament. It will be 3 months. Because as I speak to you, they'll be launching a manifesto. There will be a whole section on the 24-hour economy. And Madam Tamale, I was one of the members of the manifesto committee, and he did a presentation on the 24-hour economy. There will blueprinter. Are you ready? The day we launch our manifesto, we will share it with Ghanaians. So that Ghana for the vision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And we are not just saying 24-hour economy. It was in our manifesto in 2020. But the exigencies of the time, very topical. Because and people are not seeing solutions anywhere. It is only a 24-hour economy, no, and these solutions now. And so once we launch the manifesto in July, you will clearly see say your direction will be echo. And then 3 months into our presidency, we will put a bill before Parliament and then it will be implemented.
When I say, I'm George Opare Addo, the National Youth Organizer for NDC, lawyer Opare. Pablo. No, na ya na me de. The aka no de ya na wo wadodo. Pablo na na me pe. 85 months in office, ye be hu blueprint no.
I say 3 months, the bill will be before Parliament.
So by 5 months' time,
it should be passed. Now, as the law processes takes time.
Okay.
And that is why by the first 5 months of our administration, we should have the law passed for the 24-hour economy to take off. Cheesy for crown franchise and pass here because they know the effects of it. And
what's your position on teacher training allowance, nursing training allowance?
The other assembly
Onua FM 95.1.
A choice one will have to make. whether we'll keep on paying allowances and then limit the number of students that you be to me after. And now say you be allowances no. Now you do matter because you see, for instance, let's speak to teacher trainees. They say a tertiary institution,
university,
more or less, colleges of education.
Yeah.
So the law has changed. Now allowances, no issues, no, now a teacher trainee. Today they qualify to be on the student loan trust, a STLF.
Yeah.
The question we need to ask is equity, fairness. Say, Memeko University, na Memeji loan. Now we'll teacher trainee, na yema allowance. Are we being fair as a country? But that is another day's discussion. The second thing we need to ask ourselves is say, teacher training colleges know capacity a bit for many more people and train them to acquire skills. But if government chooses to pay allowance, then government must do the quota system. Where say a between you have a nipa 100, all the 47 colleges of education, the 41 colleges of education, it's not buying for 100 per across the country. When more capacity between a far more, many more other children, between a Kobe. But often nipa be now you'll not be able to pay the allowances. Until now buying because okay, school be for nipa 10. So it's a conversation the whole country must have. Then the issue of jobs. My allowance. Now because means who school now means me foul edume money no. Now the licensure exams about the share. So if you got 3 exams be. Now me failing mumu do na so that I can take just a few. Now who teacher training in Pona because my allowance no 3 years and 4 years and some I'm post 2. Whilst previously when there was no allowance, we were Juma the whole kwakoye. So this is a conversation George Opare Addo means me have it. And I don't have an opinion on this. Not because I'm indecisive. Abijini said collectively, Ghanaians must come together to decide what we want to do with this issue. Yeah, they are about politics at check. MPP first, when President Mahama took the bold decision, said, well, migrate you. So now they should assess the student loans. We are already employment. Students now here. So the intake reduced. And then they introduced what we called feeding fees. Yeah, allowance if you honor one. Yeah, feed you free. And now the allowance now we are feeding. It's in a year. Yeah, then send the farmer one. Yeah, they be in Kumaji. And I'm gonna say, if we don't have a dispassionate conversation with all the stakeholders, and then we all decide, say, this is the way we want to go. Well, allowance now was about the more money. They go a year, obizo at 3 years when your allowance need that. But me I could you could be the question, yeah. Or can say teach my honeymoon, or can say or instruct say in. So about a political gimmick. Yeah, tuntum near Fandada and Crawford, and that's the allowances. But they are, and even though I hear another government, it's originally, we introduce allowance must and reduce. Today, the question we should ask ourselves, they say, 350 Ghana cedis in this economy. Even pan out the better for the whole term. Then out the better. So we should have a dispassionate conversation on it. It's Ubizam said, what is my opinion now? I don't have one. I don't have one because Mijidi said all Ghanaians who are involved with the process must decide what we have to do to this so that it doesn't become a political issue anymore.
Okay. So what's your financial status as on Maya? In your name, say, yeah, debt restructuring. And see a cana, you deno, no, carry forward on. You piako your name for some number of years so that we can start paying. What's your state Ghana economy gum? And the baby say, yeah, kadura. How do you finance? The system. And then I'm more ababem. Mobile benya sika wahi. They are your projects. Because matisa more the big push. Sika amode ka the big push in yes kaketwa. Ya kakura na the intimate aka no.
You see, when governments come your free be goodwill from the international communities.
Okay.
When they see a government that is promising, some of these big economies not support here are willing to give you more. The internet in case I different is most of these big economies have decided almost support here. It is the money, not because someone pay Ghana, because they know that the government is not responsible. And the waste and the corona air cost. Say, me America, na me me tax, bro. Now you could $1.5 million. It may be $1.5 million. A minister for sanitation fee. Now buying who nothing wrong with it. You think the American government will bring you more money? Say, minister fee, name pass it, $1.5 million more than 2 years. Don't even say scanner. When governments change, a lot of things will change. Even in businesses, on the stock market, there's some managing director it affects the stocks. Some are positive, some are negative. This government has given Ghana a negative outlook. So nobody is willing to do business with you. That is where we are. I can assure you, sir, the waste in the system, the number of people drawing on government salary and doing nothing. The day this government comes to an end, so wasting now to be trapped. You reduce the size of government, keka. We'll have enough money to do developments in other areas. $58 million and a year to crew. National Cathedral, they are suffering. What do you have $58 million between I am a man? Share Range Hospital, share University of Ghana Hospital, share E-Blocks that present Mama CC. Now share the Obechebi circle interchange, major Mama roundabout roads, and then the major road projects. That is what $58 million between I am a man. Obinya $58 million, no, or they could two amena, the biggest hole, the most expensive hole in the world. No, I sinking a keke. Because two amena no way. I mean, I know, see what you have value here or there two amena. Yeah, chair the keke. Imagine what $58 million will do in the life of kidney patients at Okolibu. A bit me a treatments for your kidney patients. All of them for more than 10 years, $58 million. Obi your kidney bia, ebeti access healthcare free for 10 years. That is what $58 million could have done. They did two cathedral amenano. You know what $58 million can do for school feeding program? Your mana omuko say mom aduane dey na nsuo na esa nsuo mom so mundi no. Between feeding koda over 1 million school children continuously for 5 years. 3 square meal a day. That is what $58 million. And so the question we ask is a matter of priorities. Yaba will prioritize and make sure that Sikaka Krane will go into the key sectors of the economy. ABB for mobile age, almost 2 additional year well so. Apart from President Kufuor, they know omunya no. They the 2 can home almost 3. 8 years on twin fabric okran kan. Oba age scout sinking fund no. Age heritage fund man no. Age infrastructure fund man no. Sika ni nyina wa efa. Ni nyina na sika gumu. Ni nyina na sika gumu. COVID sia the den no. Omunya 300 million. One of the sinking funds. Heritage fund. E bi da ho. Sika ni nyina wa. So it is a matter of prioritizing. And then the West, who supports, when they see a government that is promising and is willing to say, this is kind of a boy mind for, they'll be willing to do a few things. And other times, there's the finance minister said they've done better than the NDC because Omakwa restructured debts. Aba. Say, one me not see na me bound chamber bobosia. Na Oma me bosia na ese mi chiaoka. Na mene na suniment me en chiaoka. Na me ko before na me ko bobosia na npa so man because ode aseme sika untimi ntua it me ma. Na me say ma be pouch na mzi o ka na ode me no. Be the 4 million a chew inti tua nka na. Me ni onya mo hefa. Obobo sound to me in Chiaka. And then you are proud to celebrate it. Akufo-Addo reducing governance. We celebrate mediocrity. Nyema mediocre things and you celebrate it. Would be called Bobo Sano Ababe Kinky Party. So when you sent to Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah is Ghana.
Moba Cathedral no bende.
Madam Jide say Oma Shesa Isikano. I said show me na any dom kugu no almost start and I'm started to fail it. From architects no to Akufo-Addo to Kendo Foriata to Asofona no more committee ni suni na. I said line yo munyina app. Yeah, mama show you no more failure amna no. Because I'm now we bubu judges there in ND 4 years. Bubu property say oh yina. Sebi nyansa crane. Now we see cathedral. You want to see me bring the horn more. Why don't you move it outside the capital? Should everything be around that place? And then I'll bubu yina so far so the day. Jijinko for Japan. All in the name of God and the cathedral. Obi biara sebi Nisawa Cathedral in Biara. I feel the good people of this country must call them to account for it. That you could go on as a failure when they are almost they show you near here. Maybe I'm going to be almost on failure. And then they should be punish them from the failure. I'm not
Now me not good.
that's how I'm this scam. Me man DB. And show me no more failure. I'm not. Where any problem? Where any punishment? Any money? Your mom will show you near more wheelbarrows. I must say, who fought the DNA? I'm failure. I'm not. And so for no car, we see what I think I for no. I'm on failure. I'm not. My Bogana Chrono saying you're proud of yourself. So music cathedral manyami. Na mo de mabɔ krono amanyami kra mo san bɔ ne krono. Akufo-Addo dankwa. Wagu anim ase o. Wagu akrapimfo anim ase. Because the church started from Akrapim. Jaka Akrapim nyanka aba be president a. Wo se wo ye bibia hye nyame ani onyam. Say na krono bɔ. Unsro wabɔ nipa krono amanyami kra unsro ne biem. Utu bɔ nyame so krono. On the Nikin, a share you kerosene will train or heaven.
Pablo, the next 5 minutes. More deliberate policy before the youths. And now I think so. The old person on Ghana for a check.
On the 12th of August 2024, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ever launched the friend of the Youth Manifesto of the NDC. On the 12th of August 2024, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama ever launched the friend of the Youth Manifesto. Or the Mebunu, specifically in Yema NDC Manifesto Nima or Peso or Yema and Bebunu El Ghana Hanomo. And at the heart of it are jobs. Into Obian, stay tuned.
Okay.
And as National Youth Organizer, I can assure all of you, say, all the documents I have seen, all the policies I have seen, the Youth Manifesto, a comprehensive, addressing challenges from education, jobs, economy, healthcare, security, infrastructure, AI, because today AI about it, and telecommunications, IT, internet, everything that young people need to thrive in an economy like this.
So how do you intend to create that employment and then also share 24-hour economy?
And I may say, train 12 August then what? We will lay out a comprehensive, feasible working conditions Ghana for a bit me and say these are feasible, not rocket science. In Nema, and your promises. But in Nema, it is around you, you see them, but don't have it to drink also.
Okay.
And show you how we are going to create sustainable jobs for young people in this country.
As NDC, must be for the past 8 years, in opposition. Mo share NPP amamo no se onesi ko na mo me repeat sania manibi.
But we've never made the mistakes the NPP makes. A young one trolling Kontompo. They called President Mama incompetent, but we've seen gross incompetence from this batch. The criminals, ashes suits, normal parodium as a political party. That is what the NPP best you can describe them. Abanya Chrono Ekoswa, the president is bold enough to say we on board Chrono. When you have a group of criminals that come together and constitute themselves into a political party, you get what we call the NPP. Their level of thievery, pilfering, and the chronobo. Me who in penny se mumpoda, menti bimpoda. But the NDC is never like the NPP. NDC obi so direct cross up 1 million crap president John Mama Yinedi. Ankobo krono or son direct keke ono angazo ko wiampo. Say Juma no ye no nya 1 million now. On any minister crown challenge President Mama Yinedi. That is a mark of a leader. President Mama puts his own member of parliament before courts. Abuga Pele on Jida. President Mama the commission investigations to the Jida scandal. And now Jida. Nobody did it. President Mama na yeah. And then Manasseh no far reports like Omako discover BB. It was based on the report President Mama commissioned. And he acted on it.
95.1.
That is leadership. You need a leader you can trust. President Mama will not promise because of her power. And he said it's their own Tragana Fontro because of Petumi. He will tell Ghanaians the truth. So we have learned lessons and we are better managers of the Ghanaian economy than the NPP. And it is not different from the Kufuor era. Kufuor era rebasing of the Ghanaian economy. It was a mess. But that time, on social media, and say, who has said Kufuor buying? I say Kufuor Addo buying is the same NPP buying. No difference. But that time, social media was not this rampant. So people did not dig deep into it. So that's what I say. I assure the people listening to us, we don't want to go the Kenyan way. That is not the way to go. 7th December is close. On the 7th of December, we will go to the polling stations. Let our anger ne wo yemuno. Ye fan ko polling station ye ko to abansa aban we. Na to abawi amen ko fie. Jina polling station onomo. Let's mass up our numbers at the polling stations and make sure the right things are done. 1 man, 1 vote, and woe on to any electoral officer, police officer, or military officer, or because of what we had the verdict from the people. That day, one guy said,
Your friend, no, lawyer, George Opare Addo. I prefer to call him Pablo. Pablo Medas.
Miss Medamas.
Me pachayon Lady Macron.
Onua 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Yeah,